It's Christmas time and Christmas.
Oh, the weather outside is
weather.
Just hear those sleigh bells ring, ting, 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 tingling too. And if you're ring, ting, tingling, you ring, ting, tingling too. Come on now, everybody. And if you're ring, ting, tingling, you ring, ting, tingling too. And while you're ring, ting, tingling, you ring, ting, tingling too.
Ding dongy dong, this is our song. Ding dongy dong.
Walking around in women's underwear. Oh, God.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody.
I've got very large hands. Oh, God. It's like a baby's head.
What do you want this Fistmas? To survive?
Hey, everybody, I'm Dane Holland, and I'm being tickled by a small red animal.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and I'm feeling quizzy.
I'm Marcus, the nemesis. I'm ELECTRICman.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and Merry Christmas, you mother...
It is Krampus! Welcome to our first ever Christmas episode of Nerd It Through the Grapevine, a podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, presents, and future nerd culture.
I see what you did there.
The presents was that. It was that because Krampus has presents.
Yeah.
That you.
Yeah, it's a nice little play on words.
Yeah. Thank you, Tiny. I appreciate it.
I know.
Give it to me.
I'm going to give it to you real hard.
Here it comes.
From the country of Iceland.
Ooh.
See, we are all familiar with, the Christmas stories we grew up with, and I find some of the ones from around the world to be even more entertaining than the story of Santa Claus and whatnot. So in Iceland, they have these fellows known as the Yule Lads.
I already like it.
There are 13 of them.
Whoa, that's a lot of lads.
That's a lot of lads.
That's a load of lads.
Yeah, and they visit the country of Iceland in the 13 days prior to Christmas. Kids will place their shoes on windowsills during this time, and if the children are good, they receive candy. If the children are bad, they receive rotten potatoes. And the names of these Yule Lads, I'm going to read you the English translations because I don't speak Icelandic, and I don't want to denigrate the beautiful people of Iceland. So one of these lads, his name is Sheepcoat Clod. He tries to suckle ewes in farmers' sheep sheds.
Hold on. Tries to suckle
ewes.
So he's sucking on sheep titties?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Yeah, some of them are kind of weird.
Yeah, real already.
Yeah. Gullygawk.
Nope.
He steals foam from buckets of cow milk.
How dare he?
Stubby. He's short and steals food from frying pans. Spoon licker licks spoons. Pot scraper licks pots that are unwashed. Bowl licker steals bowls of food from under the bed, which why is there food under the bed? I don't know. Well, in a little parentheses in this article, this is back in the old days, Icelanders used to sometimes store bowls of food there, convenient for midnight snacking. Okay, that's weird. There's Door Slammer. He stomps around and slams doors.
So an actual demon is in your house, and it's just one of the spirits of Christmas. We're good.
Yes. Yeah, there's 13 demons, essentially. There's Skyr Gobbler.
Skyr?
Skyr is Icelandic yogurt, so he eats your yogurt.
Of course.
Hold on a minute.
Of course it is.
Hold on a minute. Wait, I gotta know, what night of Christmas does Yogurt Gobbler come around? I don't celebrate many Christmas traditions, but if Yogurt Gobbler comes around but once a year.
Well, he comes around just before Sausage Swiper.
Oh, no! It's inverse order.
Yeah. He'll steal your sausages.
This is so you don't have an accidental pregnancy around Christmas time. That's why the yogurt goblin comes before the sausage goblin.
No. That's where Window Peeper comes in.
Oh no!
Because he creeps outside and sometimes steals stuff that he sees inside
What
from
about-
peeping through your window.
What about children's shoes? Does he take the shoes when he leaves the candy?
It doesn't say.
Just saying, lots of people get pregnant around Christmas.
They
Like
do.
throughout time.
Throughout
Yep.
forever.
There's also Door Sniffer. He's got a huge nose and an insatiable appetite for stolen baked goods. There's Meat Hook. He snatches up any meat left out, especially smoked lamb, with a hook. And then
Watch your
there's
turkey.
Candle Beggar. He steals candles, which in those days they were made from tallow, so you could actually eat them. It's all like very food based.
You could eat the candles?
Yeah, back then, the candles at that point in time,
Probably just
when
stuff.
this was very prevalent, was made out of like beef and lamb tallow, which is fat, which is edible.
Well, and just stuff that would just make your whole day, like mess your whole day up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like food.
Yeah.
Light.
And the best part
Yogurt.
is on Christmas Day, after all the lads have had their fun, their mother, which her name, it looks easy. It's
You can do this.
Grilla. Anyway,
That's wrong.
Yeah, it can't be right.
Gry, little line over the top, LA, whatever that is. She comes down from the mountains and she will boil naughty kids alive. And her giant cat, known as the Christmas cat, which he comes out at the same time.
That's what he's called in Iceland.
Yes.
The Christmas cat. Like he
Yeah.
has no other name.
I mean, that was the name that I was given. He eats anyone not wearing one piece of new clothing. So you have to wear at least one new piece of clothing on Christmas Day, or otherwise you get eaten by the cat.
Oh no.
Yeah. In one area of Spain, the Catalan region, they have a Christmas tradition known as the poop log. It's a log that's hollowed out and filled with candy. And on Christmas Day, the children hit it with sticks until it opens and spills its candy out for them to get. Kind of pinata style, but it's a log, and there's a little song that goes with it.
Sing it, please.
No.
Can I sing it?
The song roughly translates to shit log, shit nougats, hazelnuts, and matto cheese. If you don't shit well, I'll hit you with a stick. Shit log.
Oh my God!
So
Don't eat too much
if you
candy
want-
and get constipated, kids, because for that one day a year, they'll just beat the crap out of you.
Yeah. So if you want to try to sing that, Dane, you go right ahead.
I forgot the words already.
Okay.
I know what shit here. Let me read it.
Yeah.
Shit log, shit nougats, hazelnuts, and matto cheese. If you don't shit, well, I'll hit you with a stick. Shit log.
That was beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
It's very inspired.
There's no structure to it. So
Poignant.
I figured neither should the notes.
Well,
Somebody out
figured-
there.
I figure in Spanish it would be more structured than
Yeah,
that. That was
probably.
the English bastardization.
You know,
of this beautiful Christmas song.
One of our listeners out there actually has a Spanish relative, and they've always wondered. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, the nerds know my culture!" Their grandmas used to sing them this song, and then they thought, like, how do I tell my friends?
Street camp.
How do I tell them about my grandma?
Abuela?
How do I tell them about my abuela?
Abuela. I'm pretty sure it's abuela, yes?
It's abuela.
It is abuela? Yes, it is.
How do I tell them about my abuela? Singing me about poops and logs, and if I don't poop well, she's going to hit me.
And in Europe, where my family is from, my grandfather was Polish. So in Poland and German and that little surrounding area, there is the Christmas pickle.
Okay.
It's an ornament that's hidden in the tree. It's the last one put on, usually by the parents. After the kids have gone to bed, it's hidden. And on Christmas Day, the child that finds it either gets a special present or gets to open their presents first.
Oh.
See, you thought it was going to be dirty, didn't you, gross boy?
Why is it a pickle?
That I could not find out because I looked.
And nothing.
And I couldn't find anything.
What are we talking about here? Are we talking about little sweet gherkins, or are we talking about full-blown kosher dill? Like, are we talking about spears? Are we talking about chips? Like, if it's a certain size pickle, it's hard to miss. If it's going to be like one of those little tiny things, how are you going to just see it? So the kid needs a reward.
Well, you're
Right.
But if you're going kosher pickles and you get like that full-blown giant kosher dill on there and one of your kids doesn't see it, they need to be punished.
They don't deserve their presents.
They need a
The
whoop.
cat is going to eat them.
Exactly. You didn't see this giant pickle on the tree. You're never going to survive anyway. Go outside. Let the cat eat you. And you have a cat, and you're just confused, really confused. You're just waiting for it to transform into the Yule cat.
Well, a lot of times it's an ornament, not an actual pickle. Though I'm sure originally it was probably a real pickle.
Yeah.
But the ornaments look like a whole pickle. Think Pickle Rick minus the face.
Right. So a pickle.
So a pickle,
Right.
basically a cucumber.
What once was.
Once was, yeah.
Gherkin, real good word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also name of pickle.
Yeah.
Also slang for other stuff.
I'm sorry?
No.
Also slang.
Yeah,
It can
that's
be slang.
Gherkin. Oh, jerkin your gherkin.
Yeah, it's like your
that.
little. Yeah, but if anybody ever,
It's
if
like when you reach in that pickle jar and you jerk it out of there.
Right.
yeah, just like
Pickle juice everywhere.
That's the proper way to remove a gherkin from a jar, by jerking it out.
yeah, and your hands, if you're tiny and you pull your hand out of the pickle jar that quick and you hear that nice little.
If you're
bold of
tiny
you to
and you
assume
know it,
that my
jerk
hand
your
will
gherk.
fit in there.
If you're tiny and you know it, jerk your gherk.
Jerk your
Right
gherk.
now?
If you're tiny and you know it, and you
Right
really
here?
want to show it. If you're tiny and you know it, jerk your gherk.
Bad times for all involved.
You asked for this. Well, that was all the Christmas traditions that I have compiled for you this year.
Do we have any weird ones, like of your families? Like, do y'all have any weird ones at all?
My mom gets erratic every Christmas, just pissed off, just absolutely unapologetic. I'm mad and I want you to know it. So I think that's a Christmas tradition, and I don't think that it's something that it's intended to happen, but it just seems to always happen. But this year we're having Christmas at my house, so I'm thinking, I'll alleviate some of this stress for her, so she doesn't have to worry about people getting mad at her getting mad for the fact that she's upset about something that they've done, like they've shown up. She says, "Hey, be here at 1:00. We're gonna start eating." Okay, yeah, okay, Pappy, we'll be there. And then the people show up like 1:30, and they've got some of the main food dishes, and Mom is sweating bullets, just pacing in the kitchen. And it happens to me every year. It happens to me every year, Austin. It just happens to me every year. I'm going to get pissed off, and then somebody's just oh, there they are, They got the mashed potatoes.
She's going to bring that rage here.
No, she won't.
Yeah, she will.
She's going to have tortellini soup, and she's going to have a good chill time.
Okay. I don't think I have anything weird.
I don't think either.
We get to open one gift on Christmas Eve. That's a nice one. It's not weird, but it's just a little tease.
Well, we gather at my sister's house at roughly the crack of dawn.
How come?
It's what she demands. And we arrive there, so you're half asleep because you literally got a call because you're like, I'm a grown man. I live by myself. I will get there
When I get
at 9:30 or 10 o'clock like a normal, sane human being. But she calls you at like 5:30 and she's like, "Are you awake?" And I'm like, "What, are you a child?" And she's like, "It's Christmas." And I'm like, "I know, that's why I'm sleeping in. I'm not at work." and she will call you again and again until you're like, fine, I'm coming, but I will not be dressed well. I will be in PJs, and consider yourself lucky.
But Christmas pictures.
It is what it is, man. If you wake me up that early, you get what you get. I get up, I empty the dog, I go over there, and for the entirety of the day, A Christmas Story plays on the television.
Oh my God.
The whole day. And like, I used to like that movie as a child. Now I hate
Not
that
every
movie.
single year, though.
And you're at her house until Christmas dinner.
He looks like a pink nightmare.
And the entirety of the time, A Christmas Story plays on repeat on that one channel that it repeats all day.
Wait, that's it. There's a channel where
There's
that happens?
yes, one channel marathons that movie all day,
And
and
that
that movie is like 45 minutes long. So you can do the math. Being at a house for roughly 12 hours, and I keep pointing with each word, how many times that plays?
The television network you're referring to is TBS.
Yes.
All day, TBS on Christmas plays A Christmas Story, but yet nobody ever talks about the unsung hero of the situation, Christmas Story 2.
There's a second one.
There is. I can't remember anything about it except it had to do with battle tops.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Yes, it like Beyblades, but
man,
Beyblades weren't a thing
yeah.
yet. So these kids were like they all had these tops that they would play with, and they would like try to ricochet the other one out of the tops arena. And yeah,
That's Beyblade.
Beyblades before Beyblades.
That's wonderful.
Yes, but nobody remembers Christmas Story 2 because they get Christmas Story 1 shoved down their throat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Becky.
awful.
Solution? Don't have cable.
It's a major award.
So, speaking of the Christmas traditions, we don't have any weird ones. Not many.
Not really, no.
We need more. We've got. I have this horrible feeling like we have been sold a cheap, watered down, just a shell of its former self version of Christmas.
Are you talking about Krampus?
No.
Damn.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying in this group. I think we do it pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But we add a little filth to it. You got to make it a little filthy. Well, we need to make that nationwide. I want ruckus. I want revelry.
Chaos?
I want chaos.
I think that one of the main things we need to do to bring back some chaos is to make sure that they accept the tradition of puer fuetar.
I used to own a Ford Ruckus.
Well, and I think a lot of this has not all of it's Santa's fault, but he has a lot to do with it because he's not who you think he is.
Or who he thought he was because you killed him.
Well, no, I didn't actually kill him.
Oh, you didn't kill him?
I mean, because
You
like you
spoke
said,
about it.
Santa is actually somewhat of a pretty high level, probably pagan sorcerer gone completely rogue.
I was hoping you'd say like Grand Dragon or something like that. I was like,
I mean, might as well be at this point.
Yeah.
So, like you mentioned, the Yule Lads. Well, Yule was like a kind of a Germanic people's version of Christmas before Christmas was
Christmas.
really right before it was even celebrated. But it was a midwinter festival associated with the
Yeah, go ahead and give that smacking daddy.
Yes, Daddy.
associated with the Great Hunt. Odin, like Odin, has his nocturnal flights and decides who is going to be prosperous, next harvest and all these things. And so they would go and find a Yule log, and they would burn it at their hearths, and it would burn for about 12 days. And for those 12 days, they're slaughtering the livestock, except for maybe a few, for breeding purposes. And it's time to party. It's those 12 days are a huge festival. They're dragging all the evergreens out from the forest because of they're perpetually green. They symbolize being able to survive the cycle of death. They outlast the winter. And so it's this kind of uplifting message. I don't know. There was some stuff about like the ashes of the Yule log. Like each ash that falls off the Yule log is like another pig that's going to be born the next year, and all these things. I mean, because that would determine whether or not a family was able to survive.
Right.
Is how well that stuff goes for them.
Wouldn't that be just the absolute biggest crock of horse shit if your dad went out and got like the one log that didn't produce a lot of ashes and it was nothing wrong with the log, but your superstitious brain at the time would just have you convinced like, that family's gonna starve to death!
Dad can't light the fire!
Dad picked the wrong log and we're gonna starve to death!
Why can't we have a shit log like our neighbors?
Dad tried to light the log and it lit Dad on fire and he's been burning for 12 days.
There's only gonna be like 3 pigs next year.
Dad didn't ash worth a damn.
So Western civilization, we don't know what happened before a certain date, but we can go back to the Greeks and the Romans. The Greeks, their midwinter stuff was kind of revolved around the birth of Dionysus, some god. I'm not sure, but their festivals were a
The
lot.
god of wine and revelry.
There you go. There you go. Revelry. There it is. And so, like the Romans, their festivals were raucous. I mean, it's just like party in the streets. People are taking their clothes off. It's wild. It's crazy.
I'm on board with all of this. I love to be nude.
That's what I'm saying. We are not doing Christmas right. Anyway, the Romans called theirs Saturnalia. Oh, God. Tiny's stripping.
There's so much skin. Oh, how does it feel?
Back to Christmas. It feels amazing.
All right, we're doing it right.
So the Romans, their midwinter festival was Saturnalia, which means plenty, but it was kind of revolved around the god Saturn, who in their mythology at one point kind of ruled the earth, but no longer does.
What happened to him?
I don't know. I want to know more about that, too.
Are they in hiding?
I don't know. But so in Rome, the established order would just completely turn on its head, and servants and serfs, peasants would go and seize power from their lords, and then they would declare someone like the Lord of Misbehavior. And then just take to the streets and like start bossing everybody around and like making them just do insane stuff, but probably pretty fun stuff.
Like against the will of those above them, or were they like, "We'll let you guys
this was
have
just
this.
the holiday that right. I think it was
Okay.
more like that. We're going to
Yeah.
let y'all kind of misbehave today. Yeah.
Okay.
Could you imagine if the employees of Walmart had that kind of power? Just think about it. If the employees of Walmart had the ability to just, okay, now they have seized command. Walmart is their
Yes.
way now. And then you see somebody walking in and they are clearly on meth and the doors don't open automatically anymore. Like, what's going on? And the employees inside are all cheering like, yeah!
Hey Jane, rub your butt cheeks up against the window. Show them your butt.
Show them they can't get in.
Spread them.
And then this nice little old lady walks up, and then her walker hits the door and it doesn't open again, and they all cheer again because they hate everybody now.
They like advertise all these epic sales, like get a PlayStation 6 for $5, and then they just don't open the doors. So
Nice.
during this fest, Saturnalia, they would do like part of it would be just called Juvenalia, where they would like kind of spoil their kids. It was like this whole days of festivals just based on the kids, where they just spoil the children. And so, these traditions for a long time were kind of based on the pattern of the sun. It's the winter solstice, it's the darkest days of the year every year. And the sun kind of seems to kind of go down beneath the horizon for a couple days and then is reborn into the sky. And so in the Roman version of this was Mithra, the god Mithra, who was, there's a lot of the same kind of things, like the shepherds and the born of a virgin, or I think he was born of a rock or something like that. But anyway, but it was all kind of symbolizing the death, the death and rebirth of the sun. And so when Christianity comes around the Roman Empire, it's kind of really just like they just changed the names, even though the early Christian church didn't really celebrate Christmas until about the 4th century. And they just kind of decide like, oh, well, we celebrate the resurrection. Why don't we celebrate the nativity as well? And then it was just like easy transition. Like I said, a lot of the festivities were the same. You just changed some names around, and it's the same stuff.
The early church situated the holidays for Christianity around the pagan holidays to make it more relatable to other people that they were trying to spread the gospel to.
Right.
So if you was already celebrating like Christmas,
Mithra.
Whatever, the Christian equivalent was celebrated then, so it made sense to people that wasn't aware
to just do it all at the same time. Right. Let's sweep it all under the same rug. Of course, there was Saint Nicholas, the famous actual Catholic bishop named Saint Nicholas, who I don't know a whole lot about, but he was just like the one that, like on All Saints Day, on his, I think it was December 6th, he would come around and give gifts away. So from then on, that was the day where you gave gifts to your children. But it's not technically Christmas, but that will come into play later.
Wait, so was he a pope? Or was he?
He was like a bishop, I believe.
Okay, so just imagine if, in actuality, you were visited by the ghost of an old Catholic bishop instead of ho 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 Santa Claus. So you're a kid and you're so excited to get up because you hear some rumbling and jingling in the living room or something because it's Santa's coming, and you get in there, bless you, my child.
Spooky.
Screech.
Run.
So, like I said, after, once Christianity becomes the official religion of the Roman Empire, by the time the Middle Ages come around, all of those kingdoms are like kind of trying to style themselves after the great Roman Empire. And so by that point, Christmas had kind of just replaced all of the pagan traditions by the Middle Ages. Where people would gather into these giant Gothic cathedrals for Christ's Mass, which is where we get the term Christmas. But while the churchgoers would do that in the Roman style, or in the Greek and Roman style, there was just partying in the streets. It was just chaos, the revelry, the nudity, the filth, the debauchery, the ruckus was just foaming in the streets. My people. My people.
I think where we're from, if there was that happening, I think people would not embrace it as much.
Well, you're right, because all of my adjectives don't really add up. I mean, this would be something more akin to Mardi Gras.
Right.
Or like spring break than it would be like what we see as like what Christmas festivities are supposed to be.
We, as a society here in the United States of America, are very uptight about so many things, including, nudity, sexual things, whatever, that if you see a guy running down the street in his underwear, you're going to look at him like, what the hell's wrong with Jimmy?
Nothing. He's got the Christmas spirit, baby.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. What you just said.
The Christmas spirit.
That's exactly what it was. And, in the Roman style, they would elect their Lord of Misrule.
I love that. That's so good.
I know. Peasants would grab power. There was actually, in this time, in the Middle Ages, the peasants would actually go to their lord's castle, bang on the door at night, and like sing carols and demand his best food and his best beer, or they're going to bring the whole dang thing down.
Yeah.
We won't stop until we get some. We won't stop until we get some. We won't stop until we get some. And have a good year.
That's pretty much what happened.
So are you saying we need to go to Jeff Bezos' house, Elon Musk, all these fellows, and just beat the crap out of their doors and be like...
Actually, that's not what I'm saying.
Give us good food and beverage.
Honestly, maybe. If
Otherwise,
we can keep it to just that.
Just Christmas,
down. Yeah. If we can keep it to just food and beverage, abso-freaking-lutely.
Yes.
We should do that.
Because I don't want to see Elon's Elon. I don't want to see Bezos' other rocket, if you catch my drift.
I think that I wouldn't mind styling Elon Musk's hair for him a little bit, just because the poor dude looks
Top hair, bottom hair. I feel like it looks the same.
He's got money. I don't know. This could go so many ways.
So by the time we get to the early 17th century, there's a wave of religious reforms that kind of start to change the rules of Christmas. The English Puritans basically just hated Christmas because they saw the revelry and the partying in the street. They saw the fun, and they were afraid to have fun. And so they were just like, nah, we don't like this. And they basically overthrew. Well, I mean, there was a lot going on at that time. But once the king was dethroned, they basically put a stop to Christmas. But there was such an outcry for like Christmas to come back that they ended up overthrowing the Puritans and putting the king back on the throne. And then with the king came Christmas again. But they literally like just outlawed Christmas in England, the Puritans, when they took over.
The Puritans, I mean, they could be summed up pretty easily in one of their most famous scripts that they had out. It was a sermon called Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. And basically, everything that the Puritan style of religion was about was just suppression of all joy, even when it comes to God. Like, don't even be joyful because you're not worthy of that happiness. You're not worthy of joy. You're not worthy of happiness. You know, you are basically just a fly being dangled over the flame by God's grace. So if you even flinch the wrong way, those wings are going to break and you're going to burn to
The
death.
devil is joy.
Yeah.
Stay away from joy.
I mean, that's really similar to the Quaker State Farm Island boys, you know.
Don't.
Just in,
No!
you know, like in their scripture, you know, you ain't gonna slang no cane. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy.
Oh my God.
I'm like the pool where I'm staying. Full gang.
That
Fly above the flame. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
next line.
when we get to the freaking Pilgrims, man, things start going downhill. Because in Boston, I mean, this is before the U.S. of A., but they outlawed Christmas. They saw it as a scourge. They saw this Christmas spirit, as you mentioned it, called it, Dane, as a scourge on the purity of this new colony. And they like they published in the paper, like, don't let your, tonight, don't make sure your servants and your kids don't get too unruly now. And so they kind of started to try to crack down on Christmas, and even like kind of made it like a punishable offense. Like, you don't let us find you
Having fun.
celebrating Christmas. Yeah, it's kind of terrible in America.
No, it's my birthday, I promise.
But it wasn't like that in all the colonies. Jamestown, they kind of celebrated. They were the first to drink eggnog.
Oh.
Sinners.
But then the revolution comes, and everything English kind of falls out of favor, including Christmas. So, like, Congress met on Christmas for like over 67 years after our nation was formed. Like, they just ignored it, basically. But, here we are, this new nation, and people are kind of getting sad, and they're like, we don't have any holidays, because all the holidays were demanded by the crown. Well, what are we going to celebrate? And so that's when they decided to start doing Christmas again. And, it's still not like an official thing, because like I said, Congress still meets on Christmas Day, but people started celebrating it again. And by the time the 19th century rolls around, it's starting to kind of bring people together again. It's a popular holiday, but still kind of different, because in the 19th century, it was like the Industrial Revolution, and there was all this massive inequality, and there was a lot of unrest and riots. And actually, New York, it was like one of the first times they actually fielded a professional police force to crack down on all the riots during these times.
Christmas riots.
Absolutely.
That's incredible,
Absolutely. It was a lot of gang violence, too.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Gangs of New York style. Leo. And what's
The
his
five
name?
fingers.
But this is when the upper class, though, they want to refine Christmas. They want to make it all squeaky clean again. And so they start putting up evergreens. You start to see like kind of the modern iteration of the Christmas tree at this time, and its connection to the ancients was kind of like its selling point at that point. It was like, oh, well, this is what they did way back in the day, so why don't we do it again?
Where do the Coca-Cola polar bears come in?
Whenever Coca-Cola comes in.
Oh.
Yeah, they brought the polar bears with them.
This is also when we get the first Christmas cards, but they still couldn't clean up completely, because this is when the mistletoe starts to catch on in Victorian societies, because they were kind of promiscuous. The Victorians, yeah, they like that kind of stuff, and so they like to be able to
especially if you're family,
maybe kiss somebody you shouldn't, under the
like
mistletoe,
your brother.
Right? So they liked that kind of misbehaving. So that was kind of like,
I mean, they did it a lot.
There was one little vestige of like the old world kind of midwinter festivals, kind of still alive even then. But then the 1850s comes around, and this is where it all goes to Jingle Bells.
Oh, no.
By Barbra Streisand.
No! Don't even mention it!
Jingle bell, jingle.
It's the worst Christmas
So
song
basically,
of all
by the
time.
1850s, Christmas is everywhere except church, kind of. Like, it's not a particularly religious holiday at this point, but people kind of longed for this official religion on this sacred day of December 25th, the solstice or whatever, this time period of the year. And so churches were kind of like competing for each other. It's like, oh, well, if they can't get it at their Protestant church, well, they'll go to the Methodist church and have Christmas, mass or whatever.
So we've all got to have it.
Right.
So it'll stay with us.
And so it was kind of that's when it started to become like, really catch fire in the church. But then the nemesis takes his form.
Santa Claus.
The mid 19th century is when he first manifests in this iteration of him. I'm trying to figure out if he goes back to the days of Dionysus and if he goes back to the days of Mithra.
He may be just of another name.
In the early days of Christianity.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I'm suspicious of that, but I'm not sure.
Some gods have to adapt. Santa
Right.
could be an old god that has adapted.
I think you might be right, especially when I get to these next points. We've talked about Saint Nick or Saint Nicholas, the actual person. So, that was kind of an inspiration for this personification of this deity or entity, whatever he is. They called him Sinterklaas. That's what they called Saint Nick in Holland, where you're from.
Yeah.
So the mid 1850 or the 1850s or so, around that time is when we start seeing reindeer and a chimney, and like children are just kind of fascinated by this idea of this elf or this pagan sorcerer. They didn't know what he was.
Yeah.
They did not know. I mean, like he didn't really have a true form yet.
They should have checked his character sheet. God,
Right.
Come on, figure it out.
But this is when children start, looking for reindeer and things like this, or a turkey-driven sleigh. So because he took many forms at this time, and this is one of the reasons you can't trust him.
I feel like he's a druid because they're generally in nature and they have a lot of like animal friendship type things that happen.
Well, he has been known to take the form of a dark sorcerer, a frightening gnome, a drunkard on a turkey-driven sleigh,
That's my favorite one, I think.
that's a good one. Yeah.
an elf. But now we all know him as like this kind of old man with a white beard. He's so insidious
I mean, he wants my cookies.
that he will even change his skin color depending on what family he's trying to manipulate.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
He's
Look,
so
I'm
insidious.
one of you.
Right.
Yeah, let me into your home unannounced.
Santa's a demon.
Yeah.
But so some cartoonist, he probably manipulated some cartoonist to draw him in this jolly red way, and this is how now we're all used to him portraying himself, and it just so happened to work, especially in this time, because all of a sudden now you put his image on anything, and it's gonna sell. And not only that, it's going to sell like hotcakes, and the families are going to, they feel to themselves that it's not a part of the marketplace. Like this is not actually commerce happening, that this is just pure love,
It's Christmas spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his first sponsorship was Coca-Cola.
I think it was, right? I think
Yeah,
they had the first
supplied a
like
sleigh.
copyrighted image or something like that of him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was something to do with Coke and Santa.
I mean, if you look at the side of his sleigh, it says Coca-Cola.
He struck a deal with him. Yeah.
And then Tim Allen.
Yeah, yeah. He bought Tim Allen.
But see, those are all the false Santas. And if you don't know, kids, Because isn't it kind of strange that a saint or some sort of god hangs out at the shopping mall?
It is. It's a little odd.
But is it when you think about our society?
Sounds predatory.
And how we're a capitalistic society.
Sounds like
Right.
he needs to be
And
on
so
a list.
where else does it make the most sense?
Yeah.
The altar of our society is the shopping mall.
Yes, it is.
And there he sits. Actually, he has a lot of body doubles.
Yeah.
So don't fall for that.
Although he could be omnipotent.
Well, the true Santa is.
Yeah.
But he's too chicken to take actual physical form and actually come and talk to your face. He sends his acolytes out to our shopping malls to take our yearly pilgrimages to his altar and demand worship. And I'm sick of it.
Look,
And I'm not leveled up to the point where I need to be to take care of this threat. But I didn't get to choose my nemesis.
We need you.
look,
I did not get to choose this.
I'm
He was
not-
just born my nemesis.
I'm not afraid to grab the fat man by the sack and look him in the eyes and demand what I want.
Which is...
I was waiting on what that was.
Oh, did I have to say what that was?
Yeah, what did you?
Yeah.
No.
I'd
Never
rather
ask
you
Tiny.
didn't.
Never ask Tiny those questions.
You see,
I was
Marcus,
just gonna name a rifle.
the chaos still exists. It just exists in the shopping malls that you mentioned, our altars as a capitalist society. Because through the years, there have been certain items that children want from their parents because gifts are Christmas now. Without the gifts, there's not really Christmas. And I would like to go through the first year of one of us grapes to the present, if I can, to see what toy it was or what item it was that everyone was clambering and fighting and clawing and saving up to buy to get their children to make sure that they were happy. Because if they don't get them the gift they want, they're mad and
They're bad parents.
and they make bad kids. Their kids are going to grow up and be criminals if they're not happy and satiated with these material items. Tiny, in 1987, when you were born, the Kush ball was the most sought after toy that all kids wanted at Christmas time.
Is that squishy, spiky ball thing that just sucks?
Yes, it's the little spiky ball, and it was invented in 86 when this guy was having trouble teaching his young kids how to catch, and normal balls were like way too bouncy and stuff, so he needed something that these dumb little kids could get their hands on. So he's like, I'm going to make this little rubber ball with a bunch of stringly dudes on it, and you can all catch this, kids, because your hand-eye coordination is terrible. And in 1988, the year of myself and Marcus,
And of the dragon.
and
by the
of
way.
the dragon, yes, it is the year of the dragon.
I'm a rabbit.
The Nintendo console came out. Like that 88 was the year of the NES, the original Nintendo.
Nice.
In the at least
How did it get that
here.
much more cool in 1 year?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it went from Kush ball
Went from a ball you're not supposed to catch.
What the hell?
to Super Mario.
I got gypped so
Yeah, you
hard just in 1 year.
Yeah, you did. In the year of Shazam, 1989, you just barely missed 88 also. I mean,
By 3 whole days.
3 whole days he missed the 88. The Game Boy. So Nintendo still on top with the Game Boy. So you got the NES but in your hands. And all 4 of us got to enjoy in 1990 the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toy line.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
And we were all about it. I would say starting with, unfortunately, not the Kush ball, but the Nintendo, like from Nintendo to the Game Boy to the Turtles, we're all right there in the thick of it. Like that's exactly what we had and wanted, just like all the other kids. 91, Pogs. We've talked
on!
about Pogs before.
Am I that basic?
Yeah, we're very bad. We are controlled by
By
what's
Santa.
sold to us by Santa.
Is 1993 left? Power Rangers.
Oh
is
no!
next.
Hold on. We gotta go to 92 first. 92, Barney.
Unfortunately.
I loved Barney.
So the little bitty
when he first
kids
came,
ruled over
no,
in that.
I loved Barney when he first came out. It was
No.
about 1 year later that I was like, no, Barney sucks. And I
Yeah.
hate Barney.
It doesn't take long to get sick of Barney.
Yeah, exactly.
And a bullet in his brain.
The
Won't you say you'll ride this train
The talking Barney, to be exact, was a plush toy. 1993 was actually the Talkboy.
Why?
Because
of Home Alone.
Because of Home Alone. Without Home Alone, it wouldn't have existed. It was made for the movie. It was designed and created as a movie prop that he used in the movie, and it was so sought after. People actually wanted it to exist that they actually created it, and it was the most sought after thing in 93.
Tiny's never even seen Home Alone.
I have.
That's a lie. 1994, Power Rangers. You were 1 year off. Yeah. 94 is Power Rangers. Once again, basic boys we are.
But just like, was there a specific Power Ranger toy? Or was it
Mighty
just Power
Morphin?
Rangers toy?
A Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys, just in general.
In general. Gotcha.
Yeah, just all of them.
Just there wasn't
toys. One. There was just
The weapons, the toys, the Zords, the
Dragon Zord.
the 8-inch figures. You could push a button and they'd kick or chop.
Yep.
Or the Flippy Head Boys. that
Flippy
went
Head
from
Boys,
normal
yeah.
head to Power Ranger
Power
head.
Head. Normal head
Normal
to
head
Power
to
Head.
Power Head.
1995 was these little stuffed things that were going to pay people's way through college, Beanie Babies.
Oh my
That
God.
ended up being
Yeah.
exactly what they were, small stuffed things. 1996 was the Tickle Me Elmo.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was like...
Let's go to
That made the news big time because that was like there was so much demand for it that a person ended up paying $7,100 for an Elmo because they were desperate for their child to be happy.
What?
Yeah, I'd rather my kid
Jesus.
be horrendously depressed.
wait a
than me to
month.
spend
Just wait a month.
Yeah, exactly.
You get 'em
There'll
for
be
like-
more.
You'll get them for $7 to $8.
But kids are the worst, and we do that to parents. We make them think that we're going to turn out to be bad people if they don't give us the things we want.
In canon, that is how young Dwight Schrute actually paid for his Firebird that he fixed up until he became an adult and drove it.
The Beanie Babies?
Was by selling that Tickle Me Elmo
Or the
for
Tickle Me Elmo.
$7,100.
Really? Oh, our canon. Okay. Very. Dead comment. 1997, the Tamagotchi, the pocket pet that you got to take care of, which we've covered most of the things in this list in the things that we remember as kids in the in your late toy section. Like most of these things we've covered. That's why I can blaze through them because we all are so familiar with them. 98 was the Furby. Very familiar. The yum. Which I hope in future years it's going to be the Furby centipede. In 1999, Pokemon trading cards to be
Yes, Daddy.
See, puppy.
Yes, Father Christmas.
In 2000, Razor scooters. I had a Razor scooter, and my ankles will remember them for the rest of
There
my
is
life.
a dark spot on my right ankle that will forever be there because of a Razor scooter.
I have one
It is
too.
a scar from the Razor scooter. You had to do the kick that you saw in the commercial, and by God, your ankles, they know that kick.
That's how I learned to shave.
To Razor scooter. Oh, right. Thanks, Tiny. 2001, I think, is when we started to lose our touch with what was going on with toys. The Bratz dolls were the most sought after, which we don't have
Sounds about right.
much familiarity with those. 2002 was Beyblades, and I wish that I would have been a part of that crew because now I want a Beyblade. Like, as an adult, I want a Beyblade battle people because I never got to be a part of that.
I want to see Beyonce holding a Beyblade. That'd be a Bay holding a Beyblade. They call her Queen Bey.
B.
I've heard of this Queen Bey.
2003, 2004 was something called the Robo Sapien. So is this little white and black little robot guy?
Oh, yeah.
And
Let me see him.
he could
I
walk
remember that.
around. He had
feel-
67 different pre-programmed
The
actions.
little rich boy I played with had one.
Yeah. Ever see him, Marcus? No one else
No,
can.
that
really
doesn't look
sucked.
like what
Yeah.
I remember.
2005, we're back in action here. The Xbox 360 was the big one then. 2006, PlayStation 3. 2007, the iPod Touch. So electronics technology is definitely taking over all toys. And then Elmo Live came out, and in 2008, it was like a revamping of the Tickle Me Elmo, but he was a living being and sentient and a soul, and
Was
I
the
hope,
pork me
I
Elmo?
hope he's in heaven. What? I'm sorry?
I said, what was it, like the pork me Elmo? Was it tickle me Elmo? Did you like touch and tickle?
In 2009, the Nook was, I believe, the first like e-reader.
Yep.
By Barnes and Noble. In 2010, the iPad. So we're still technology going strong. And then Elmo comes in again to break up the technology streak.
I'm sorry. I was preemptive.
Yeah, it's true. And so Elmo is back with Let's Rock Elmo, and he was a little drummer boy. Now technology's back again in 2012 with the Wii U, which everyone didn't really like,
Right.
but they had to
They
get one
wanted one
because it
so
was
bad.
new. Exactly, it wasn't as good as the Wii in general. But
The
without the
Wii
Wii,
sucked
without the
anyway.
Wii U, we wouldn't have the Nintendo Switch. Guess who's back in 2013?
Elmo.
It's Elmo.
Are you
He's
serious?
broken his way again to stop technology. Big hugs Elmo. He's an Elmo with big old arms. He's going to give you a hug.
Toby. R.I.P. Toby.
Yes.
Toby was the dog that I had for 14 years, and Toby got to experience the hugging Elmo, and he hated it. The arms would grab you. Like they would reach out and they would like grab onto you. Not like a scissor motion where they're just like stuck to, they're open and then they're closed. It's literally like they would reach out and grab you and give you a hug. Toby wasn't about it. Toby had
I don't
no
think
pro-
I would be about it. I don't know. But Elmo is the Christmas king, obviously, because he keeps coming back. 2014, there was a specific Elsa doll that everyone was insane about because the movie, well, the song Let It Go really took the movie over the top, I think.
Yeah.
2015, there was this BB-8 little, he was a little roll-around BB-8 droid.
The one that you could get on
program on your phone.
Oh, that one was so cool.
Oh,
my,
yeah.
my cousin got that.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, that thing would like map out your living room and it would like go around, like it would map out like where your coffee table was and everything. But then your app, like you could sit there and he would like talk to you through your app
That's incredible.
and you could like tell him to go places. Like, I don't know. It was really, really cool.
Hold on.
The interface
Would you get
you
beer
had.
out of my fridge for me?
No.
We're approaching current day, 2016, the NES Mini. So the Nintendo Mini came out, and it had games already lodged inside of it to where you don't actually like have to put any cartridges or anything in it. And there's this little, in 2017, this little robot named Cosmo. He had a little face, and his face made a bunch of faces. And he looks like he's got a little shovel push thing in front, and he can move blocks around and rearrange blocks. My nephew Judah had that, and he loved it. The
Really?
next year is almost like a smaller version of that thing. It's just a boxer AI robot. So robots are taking over. Elmo has been kicked to the curb in place of robots.
For now.
For now, Elmo will return with vengeance. 2019, the LOL Surprise 2-in-1 Glamper. We have lost so much touch with what is popular anymore for toys.
That made me want to throw up.
I would have loved it when I was a kid because it looks like a tiny little itty bitty thing. Because Mini Max or Max something Max,
Wait, Mighty
Max. Yeah, that was. I loved Mighty Max.
Yeah, my niece was into them.
Mighty Max.
No,
Polly Pockets.
no,
Polly Pocket.
the LOL surprise things.
Oh, okay.
And
So you
some
know
of them are like little. It's kind of like a microtransaction on a game, except a toy version.
So it's a mystery pack
Yes,
because that's the surprise.
yes,
So they keep buying them, hoping they get the one they want.
right. But they're all just useless garbage.
Yeah, of course.
Did it make you LOL?
They're like, it's basically tiny little accessories for tiny little dolls. Like tiny, like they look like little toys
Dolls
you'd
of
get
me?
in like a Wendy's drive-through.
Yeah.
But then they sell all these surprise packs so that you can like have different accessories for them.
Hold on.
And it's such a scam.
Hold on. So they're tiny dolls.
Yes.
They're
They're
you.
dolls of me.
Yes.
I
Small
wish.
dolls of you.
I wish. Then I wouldn't care. Well, I wouldn't care so much if people spent money on them.
Yeah, on dolls of you.
Yeah.
2020, PS5 and Xbox Series X. Good luck getting them. That's how popular they were. Plus, they didn't make enough of them for people to buy in the first place. And 2021, the Grogu plush toy, also known as the Child, also incorrectly known as Baby Yoda.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop
Just
it, everybody.
stop it.
That's not his
Quit.
name.
It's Baby
Stop-
Yoda species.
Stop telling me you like my Baby Yoda shirt. you don't like my Baby Yoda shirt. It's
You
not even
like
that.
his Grogu
It's
shirt.
Grogu. But yeah, that's all the way up until now. And I think most of those we're very familiar with, and some of them, no clue. Before we get to your topic, Austin, we have now, this is a live update, we have now reached 5,000 downloads for our podcast.
Well,
so congratulations.
nice.
Hot day.
On the Christmas episode, we reached, what a gift. What a gift. Good
Hot
job,
diggity
everybody.
dang.
And you know,
You did great.
5,000 downloads now. Pa-rum-pum-pum-pum.
you have
Barney
listened.
took his pants off. Rum-pum-pum-pum. I don't know.
Up in my bum.
Henry
his bum.
was exposed to air. Bum, 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 bum.
Who's Henry?
Oh, sorry, that's my dad's hernia.
Yeah. I got Billy. Your dad is Henry.
So, you know, the thing is, when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to the toys and all those other things, most of those things we just kind of pull out of our butts and we know. You know, like we could say,
Don't talk about my butt
we
toys.
could say, we could talk about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We could talk about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys, and then we would automatically be able to, you know, shout out a couple things like the Zords and the head flippers and all that other stuff. But some things get stuck in your head from your childhood, just like these childhood Christmas movies of mine that I'm going to mention only briefly: Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. And the reason I say mention briefly, I've got Shazam's off-the-cuff quiz. And Shazam's off-the-cuff quiz is going to be going out to you fellas here to answer. I've got a 30-question, and it's not multiple choice. You're going to have to just know it. If you don't know it, I'll tell you real quick.
I'm 0 for 30. I'm going to eat a bag of turkey.
Well, we're going to have a quiz over the movies Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
So do we vroom in?
All you got to do is just raise your hand real quick and answer if you know it. I mean, I know that you boys don't all watch movies, so we're going to go ahead. We'll start with a hard question here. Okay, hard question. Who directed both Christmas Vacation and Home Alone? He was also known for his works in 80s classics like 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club. Tiny.
Tim Curry.
Incorrect. Tiny.
Stanley Kubrick.
Incorrect. Tiny.
Stephen Colbert.
You're no longer allowed to answer. Anybody?
I don't
John Hughes was the
I
director.
was so close.
He was the director. Okay, now
Who's that?
John Hughes. He was the director. He actually directed a lot of movies from like those '80s style movies we remember, like with the Molly Ringwalds and the this and the that. You know, it's
Molly Ringworm.
it is what it is. You're not even paying attention. What was full that Cousin Eddie had to empty in the sewage drain?
What?
Tiny.
Septic tank.
The
Or
shitter.
black tank on his RV.
The shitter.
The shit tank.
Dane said it best, but Tiny
Shitter's full.
But Tiny also got it correctly. It was the septic tank on his RV, but the
You
shitter
did
was
quote the
full.
I
line.
quoted the line, I get the point.
Well, he didn't say to quote the line. He just said what was he emptying.
Who gave a better answer?
I'll just take the point.
Damn it.
Okay,
All
we've
right.
got. All right, so we've got. Okay, so what was the name of Cousin Eddie's dog in Christmas Vacation? Tiny?
Shipley?
No. Tiny?
Bruno.
You're no longer allowed to answer.
Fluffy.
His name was Snots, and you get a bonus point if you remember the breed of the dog. Tiny.
He was a bulldog.
He was a Rottweiler.
Damn it. I thought he was a bulldog.
Okay, easy one. What was Kevin's last name in Home Alone? Tiny.
Spacey.
Kevin McAllister.
Dane got it right.
Dang. Oh, you turned Tiny's volume down.
How did you remember that?
Me?
Yeah.
Next question. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, what was the duo of thieves?
The Wet Bandits.
Wet and then sticky.
Bonus point for Tiny.
I was gonna
Original
wait
point
for-
for Dane. The bonus point was what was their name in the second movie as well.
But
Yes.
what was their actual name?
Now there's the
Marv.
Yep. What?
And Joey?
No.
Oh, oh God.
Harry.
Harry.
Marv
Yeah.
and Harry.
yeah, okay.
Daniel Stern played Marv and Joe Pesci played Harry. Okay. What was Clark's Christmas bonus? Tiny.
It was like a Jelly of the Month club.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes, he got a year subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club. Cousin Eddie said, but Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year. What was the name of the crazy aunt that said the Pledge of Allegiance to bless the food? Tiny.
Broomhilda.
No. Tiny.
Francine.
Her name was Bethany. Crazy Aunt Bethany.
I might have seen this movie once or twice in my life. I don't remember any of
I
this.
don't think I've ever seen it.
Okay, in Christmas Vacation, Clark has a really big meltdown, and over the course of his meltdown, he says so much, but the end of it ends on, hallelujah, holy shit. What's the last phrase?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Where's the Tylenol? This is Shazam's deep cut
I
quiz,
know,
guys.
I don't know these things. Do you know these things already?
I sat and did this just typing them all out. I never had to look at a thing.
That's
okay,
amazing.
here's a good one for everybody. Who was the composer for Home Alone's main theme?
It wasn't John Williams.
Hans Zimmer.
John Williams.
It was John Williams?
John Williams was the composer for Home
Phil
Alone's
Collins.
main
Dane
theme.
kind of
But
gets
he
a
said
point.
it wasn't. But you said the wrong answer.
It was.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
win.
It is John Williams. You guys aren't very familiar with Christmas Vacation like I am, so I'm just going to tell you the answer to
I
this.
know some of it.
Chicken
Tiny-
bikini.
What was the chick in the bikini's name? She was a retail worker. What was her name?
I don't know, but she was hot.
Mary. It's
Okay.
easy to remember Mary's name because she says, she's there and she's
Oh,
just.
yeah. She's like, Merry Christmas, Clark.
No, and Clark's like, oh, 'tis the season to be merry. And she's like, oh, that's my name. Clark says, oh, no shit. She has a name tag on. So let's see. What's Kevin's older brother's name?
Biff.
No.
No, I'm thinking of what am I thinking of?
Back to the Future.
Yes, that's what I'm
But Doug.
No, it's... Whoa, hold on.
Lightyear.
Woof woof.
Buzz!
Marcus got a point.
Philip.
His name is Buzz McAllister.
Thought it was Philip.
Okay, and you guys
And
don't...
his girlfriend is woof woof.
Woof. Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof. You don't know anything about Christmas Vacation. We've come to know this. So I'll skip over Christmas Vacations
No,
if I can.
I know some.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You know some. I
Okay.
know the shitter
How
thing.
many twinkle lights did Clark staple to the roof of his house?
1,000,000.
25,000 twinkle lights.
How did that come from your brain to write down?
He literally tells his family, "I've got 25,000 twinkle lights up there," and then he has his father-in-law named Art that comes out there who is just an asshole, and he's like, "I see a lot of them lights that aren't twinkling up there, Clark."
Look, these are not deep cuts. These are like full severances.
I'm sorry.
These are deep penetrations.
Okay, what did Kevin shoplift in Home Alone 1?
A toothbrush.
Dane got a point.
I love Home Alone.
Yes, that's good.
I can't remember anything.
In the first movie, where were the McAllisters going on vacation?
Paris.
Dane wins again. Where were they going in the second movie?
New York.
New York.
No, they weren't.
No,
they
they-
lost Kevin in New York.
They were going to Florida. What's Kevin's favorite pizza?
Cheese.
Everybody got that. Even Marcus, who just mouthed it.
I didn't really mouth it.
Your mouth is constantly making this cheese.
Okay.
look
So we
to
just
it.
yelling them out now?
Okay,
yeah.
If you want to raise your hand, you can.
No.
If you don't,
I
it
wanna
doesn't
yell.
matter. Just yell.
Okay.
What was the okay? You guys don't know this, but
wanna yell.
what was the scary name of the supposed scary name of Kevin's elderly neighbor?
Oh my God, something shovel.
Yes.
The shovel man.
No.
Shovel McCoy. Shovel disaster.
And-
the snow shoveler.
and-
the driveway snow slinging shoveler band boy.
You're wrong. And Buzz says, "Have you ever heard of the South Bend Shovel Slayer?"
I was so close.
You are close. He did have a shovel. He was a nice man.
What creature wreaked havoc on the Griswold household after they brought a Christmas tree in from outside?
raccoon?
Cat.
Nope.
Squirrel.
Yes,
Ah.
a squirrel.
I knew it had to be an animal of nature.
Where did Clark and his family get stuck under while driving? What did they get stuck under while driving? A logging truck.
Oh, yeah. Man, I really have
Where
don't
did
remember
Clark
anything about
get
this.
trapped whenever his family went shopping?
In his wife.
No, not Beverly D'Angelo. No, the addict. The attic. He got trapped in
The
the attic.
addict.
Okay, here.
What's he addicted to?
Oh, sorry, I said say addict, didn't I? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Daddy.
Father.
Let's see. I feel so upset because it's okay.
I'm sorry we don't know the movie.
No, it's just Christmas Vacation is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm sorry we don't know your deep penetrative questions.
Yeah.
Okay. What part of the church did Kevin hide in when he was hiding from the wet bandits?
The Knave.
The
nativity
baptistry.
scene.
Baptize
The
me.
nativity.
The Nave.
That's called the nave?
I don't know.
The,
I don't know what we're talking
the-
about.
the nativity
Yeah,
scene is
nativity.
correct.
The manger.
What did Kevin eat whenever he was preparing for the wet bandits
and
to show?
cheese.
Oh, damn, Tiny. Yes, mac and cheese.
Nice.
Complete this phrase from the movie Angels with Filthy Souls. Merry Christmas,
You filthy animal.
That was too easy.
I just wanted to give
Angels
you one.
with filthy souls
I've gotten
have
a few
filthy
points.
holes.
I've only got 1 point, and he basically gave it to me.
I didn't even count my points.
Well, you're the Sith
got
Lord
a
here,
couple.
so
That's true. I don't
I got a
need this
couple.
I'm the
one.
Home Alone Lord.
Huh? Just, do you know how hard it is to walk around with this much bullshit just in your head? Just in your head, not having a use to it, just having it in your brain, just knowing these things. Like, what branch of the armed services did Aunt Bethany think that Rusty was in?
The Marines.
The Navy. Is Rusty still in the Navy? So it's, why do I remember these things? It doesn't have a purpose to it.
And yet when we play Trivial Pursuit, we're fucking idiots. We
I
know
don't-
nothing.
I don't know why.
No.
Like, who's the name of the yuppie neighbor? Like, what's the name of the yuppie neighbor that lives next door to Clark that gets all upset because he...
Judith?
Margot.
Why? Do you know that? Stop.
I don't know.
Stop knowing these things.
What kind of van did the bandits drive? What kind of van was it?
It was a Dodge Ram van. This is the kind of stuff that I remember.
Stop remembering these things. Dump your brain out.
I can't. And the final question that I had prepared was just asking you, what was the secret ingredient in Aunt Bethany's Jell-O mold? Extra bonus point if you can remember the gift she accidentally wrapped.
She wrapped her cat.
Tiny got a bonus point.
Oh, that's good.
What's the secret ingredient to her Jell-O mold?
Toothpaste?
Cigarette ash.
The
Cat-
secret's in the sauce.
Cat food.
I was thinking people.
I guess I got to watch this movie.
No, I can just sit and tell it to you as a
We've already
bedtime
heard
story.
it.
if you want to.
Tweet it to me.
If you want to. And that's what I'll be doing for my kids whenever they get, around in this world. If they happen, I'll just sit there and I'll just whistle to them as they're sleeping,
That is going to sound terrible.
It's going to sound amazing.
Shut up, Daddy. I can't sleep.
Let me tell y'all about what happens if you ever get left home alone. There's this little boy named Kevin and these two big bad men.
And we've got 4 big bad men here that love the fact that you just listened to our episode of Nerd It Through the Grapevine. And you're on Spotify, stay on Spotify. That's great. If you're on over at iTunes, keep listening there, but also give us 5 stars. If you don't give us 5 stars, Tiny may be left home alone and have to fight off the 3 stickier bandits.
Yes. We'll be the 4 greasy bandits by the time it's over with.
Please give us 5 stars. We can't let this happen. Give a description of why you like us, then hop on over to Teespring. There is a link in the description of the episode. That's where you can get a gift for one of your friends that you know listens to the show, or a gift for yourself that have our logo and other things after their show, like a hot stinking fecal garbage shirt, or a Visionella Noonan shirt, or our names just down it, which is nice too. But yeah, you can do that, and they're affordable things, and they're nice.
And if you feel like talking to me a little bit about, Aunt Bethany or her husband, who is Uncle Lewis, or how he smokes such a big stogie even though he has such a small head, or how she sang the national anthem as the yard Santa that got blown up by the sewage gas that got blown up by Lewis's cigar hitting Eddie's fecal matter in the sewer as he threw it in there.
We're gonna get a copyright stuff if we just say the whole movie.
I'm not giving away spoilers from anime. We'll be okay.
Okay, you're good. That's a good point.
Go ahead and get on to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Nerd Grapevine. If you want to be joining us a little bit on the giving side of stuff, go to Patreon at the Best Friends period, Tiny Ink period section. Donate a little bit. You'll get a holographic Nerd It Through the Grapevine sticker, and you'll be able to unlock future content that we were not allowed to let you hear originally on the show. because it might give you too many questions over movies you've only thought you've seen once or twice, but they're in your brain forever, and that would cause you to have a little bit of...
I really got to pee so bad, so I'm going to speed right through this. Head on over to Discord. On the 26th, the day after Christmas, we're going to show you the Star Wars Christmas special. And I'm not talking about the Lego one. I mean the original one that George Lucas just wishes would disappear. It's totally free. You just have to be in the Discord. So join up. There's a link in the description.
Go pee.
No.
You're gonna make him do it?
Yes, I'm gonna make him do it.
Ooh.
But I'm gonna take my time.
I'm going to pee in your mouth.
But what do you do when life gives you grapes?
Hang them from the front of my Santa Claus ornament.
Like balls. Like
Testicles.
human balls. Because he did that. He already had a spare set of tiny human balls in his possession.
They were in my car
making
for
an
weeks.
ornament.
And you would call them the grape balls, and you would sing the song.
Great balls of fire.
You just see those great balls jingling, ring ting tingling too,
And they're ring ting tingling too.
This is our song. Ding dong dong.
This is our song.
Silent grapes.
Jingle bell,
You
jingle bell,
can't
jingle bell.
hear them talking because they're silent. The song says so.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
Tim McGraw.